watching Day or Night X. X is for exotics. I got a question about someone who is having a little bit of anxiety issues with their first time having an exotic animal shipped to them. In this case, is a ball python. Now, some of the methods I'm going to talk about in this video obviously are my methods. I encourage you to go to other people's videos on YouTube, other social media forums, and if you're getting this first animal shipped to you, it's normal to have anxiety about it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, obviously, but that doesn't happen as often as everything going right. If you're buying from the right person, a reputable person, you'll get through the process very quickly without a bump in the road. It'll be over before you know it. So I'm just going to take you quickly through my entire process, and again, I encourage you to talk to other people. Don't just do it my way. This is just my way of doing it, and I can be a little OCD with it sometimes. So first and foremost, I've had a lot of animals shipped to me, a ton, so I've been through this process plenty of times, and I can tell you there hasn't been one time where I didn't have a heightened level of anxiety when it came time for the animal to be shipped to me. So one of the things you're going to want to look out for is the dealer reputable? And once you press the button for the animal to be shipped to you, you put your order in, start communicating immediately with that person, get all the details you possibly can about the snake. We're going to talk about snakes here. Sheds, feedings, when they was born, who they were bred to, the exact size, all the information you can get. So when the animal shows up to you, if any of that information seems to be false compared to what you're seeing, red flag, right? You're going to be in communication with that person immediately, let them know what's going on. So once I press the button and I know that it's time for it to go, then I'm setting up. I'm getting ready for the snake. I'm setting up 2 tubs. The first tub is for the quarantine tub, where the animal is going to lay and get acquainted and acclimated to your environment, its new surroundings. The other one is obviously setting up what will be its permanent home. You want to set that up immediately as well. You don't want to put that off because, you know, just have it set up. It's going to be done eventually anyway. So once that's done, you want to be in communication with them about your shipping date so you know exactly when that animal's coming. Get your tracking number so you can track. Don't just rely on that person that you're buying from to be able to track it. It's your responsibility as well to stay on top of that animal. Don't be irresponsible with it. Make sure you're at home. And with me, I'm OCD. I have somebody, a neighbor of mine, who I trust. If anything happens, the emergencies happen, if an emergency does happen, I have somebody here who I can trust to come pick up the package and put it in our house until I'm able to get to my animal. That's just me being OCD. Everybody does things differently. Like I said, check out everybody else's methods. Another thing that I do, once I know that animal's coming, I'm going to take my camera and have it glued to me. I sit on my porch if I can. I'm sitting on my porch, I'm looking out the window. I actually take photographs of when the truck arrives. That way it's dated and time-stamped in your details in your phone. Take a picture of that, and then take a picture of the guy or gal taking the package out of the truck and walk towards me. I do that for my personal sanity, to be honest, because a lot of times if something goes wrong and they're handling the package wrong, they're swinging the package, they have knocked on my door with the package, boom, 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 with the actual package. I've seen that happen. There'll be dents in it. You can see it. They'll toss the package. You'll see a lot of stuff. Not saying that they all do it. This rarely happens, but it happens enough where I take pictures, and that way you have the person who delivered it, you have their face on your camera. So after you get the package, and again, I take photographs. You want to inspect the package and start communicating immediately with the person you got it from. This is me. I tell them, package arrived. I'm checking out the package now. Everything looks good. I have concerns, whatever. They know immediately. As soon as I get the package, I'm going to either tell them it's good news or bad news, right? I'm starting an open line of dialogue with the person who sent it to me to cover my ass, cover my bases, in case there's anything going wrong with the package. I take pictures of the package. I photograph it. And I make sure I inspect everything, make sure there's no dents or scratches or anything, you know, fire damage, water damage, you name, you know. This animal has been in transit, you know, overnight. You never know. Once I do that, I gently and calmly start opening up the package. A lot of people, you see this in videos a lot. They're screaming. They're like, "Yeah, my new snake, my new animal." You know, they're screaming. They're raising their voices. You got to remember, there's a stressed out snake inside of the box still. A stressed out animal inside the box. Be respectful of that, and calmly, gently, get some self control. It is an exciting time, but you want to get yourself some self control. When it's time to open up the box, gently open it up. Once it's open, take a picture. Inspect everything. Is the heat pad in there? Is it still warm? If you need one. Ice pack. Is it still in there? Is it still cold? Check for dents. Check for everything. Take pictures. Communicate. Open it up. Everything looks good. Get the snake out. If the snake's in the bag, you know, I tend, if the snake's in the bag, I let them know that I'm here by just kind of making sure everything's in there and they're alive. And I try to find where the head is so when you open up the bag, you don't get a surprise. So I take pictures of that. If it's a container, obviously, you know, just check it over, inspect it, make sure everything's good. If everything's good, take pictures of it, and I often will send it to the person so they know exactly what I'm getting, what the situation is, where I'm at. If everything looks good, if it's in a bag or a container, most of the time it's in a bag for me. We talk about pythons here, by the way. I'm going to take it and put the bag with the animal still in the bag in the quarantine tub. And I open up the bag gently, again, respectful of the animal that's inside, stressed out animal. Then I take a picture of the animal inside the bag. And again, the cover, this is how it looked when I opened the bag. This is covering your butt. And being very thorough with it. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm OCD with it, but it's worked for me. I've reduced a lot of potentially bad situations by doing these methods. You know, you don't want them to have an excuse of why something's wrong. You know, this is it, this is my fault, this is your fault, this is FedEx's fault, this is UPS fault, whoever, right? So, I open up the bag, and I'll leave that bag open, and I'll walk away. Put the lid on, and I'll walk away. If that animal comes out, they come out. If after a while I feel like it's time for me to inspect it, and after a while I mean a few minutes, 10 minutes, and maybe sometimes not even that long. It just depends on the animal. If they're stressed out, I'm leaving it in the bag for a moment. But I'm taking photographs and still being able to say to the person I got it from, this is the situation. So I'll leave them in there. If they don't come out, I'll just take the animal gently out, put it in the tub, and I'll leave the bag in there. And a lot of times they'll just go right under that bag and hide. And that's fine. They've been in that bag. It's almost kind of like a blanket for them at that point. In my experience, this is what I do. Once they're settling, for a few minutes, or up to 30 minutes, if everything's looking good, I'm telling the person I bought it from everything's great, it's looking great. I'll let you know if any problems arise. I'll keep you updated. They want that information too, so it's good for you to communicate. You don't have to. I just feel better, and I know they've always been appreciative of me doing that. Quarantine for me is a must, and the duration of it varies depending on what animal I have. I quarantine all my reptiles if they're shipped to me. The only ones I don't quarantine are my arachnids, my tarantulas. They go right down because unless I got them from a reptile expo or a pet store or something like that, but usually if they're shipped to me, they go right down in with the other tarantulas. Reptiles I treat completely different. Reptiles, I'll keep I've kept a ball python away from my animals for especially the ones one of them, my pastel genetic stripe. I kept him in quarantine for 7 months because he came from a bad environment. And you're going to be treating for mites. You're going to be assuming. I always assume that they're going to get shipped to me with mites. So I treat and I look and I look and I look. I don't put them on in that quarantine tub. There is no Aspen. There is no Reptibark. None of that bedding. I use straight paper towel. I want to see what the poop looks like. I want to be able to see everything. I want to be able to see if there's anything crawling off of them on that white paper towel. I want to see what their urine looks like. I want to see if they're regurgitating anything. I want to see how often they knock over their water dish. That gives you a sense of their personality, how mobile they are. I do all that in quarantine. Once I feel there's not a doubt in my mind that animal's ready to go down, then it goes out. If that's a month or 2 months, that's fine. Usually I keep them up for at least a month to 2 months away from other animals. And even then, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. If there's a doubt in my mind, they're staying up there. It's just too much of a risk to mess around with that kind of stuff. And I encourage you to do the same. But that's just my method. There's nothing wrong with keeping an animal in quarantine, and I can keep an eye on them. They're right there. I keep them kind of in neutral temperature, so they're getting used to the house temperature as well as what they might be experiencing when they come down to my room. Once that quarantine is over and you feel it's time, go ahead and they'll join the rest of your animals, and that's what I do. If you don't have any other animals, and this is just your first ball python, then quarantine is what it is itself. You're going to set the animal up, go ahead and put it in this enclosure, have it all set up, ready to go, have every essential thing you need. And that's another thing. Make sure it's all done before the animal gets here. Don't play around with that kind of stuff. Don't get the animal there and be like, oh man, I forgot to get it a heat mat, or I don't know how I'm going to heat this animal, and I live in, whatever state, and it's freezing right now. You don't want to be that person. Have it just set up. Have it ready to go. So that's something stress-wise you don't even need. So once that's in place, the only thing I can say to you is that whether it's your first time or it's 100 times you've had them shipped to you, your anxiety is going to still be up if you care about the animal. And that's what all this is about, protecting animals. So if you care enough, you're going to be stressed out regardless of how many times it's shipped to you. I'm a nervous wreck. I can't even sleep the night before I have an animal shipped to me. And it just comes with it. The more prepared I am, the more documented I am, the more aware that I am of situations, which anxiety in that type of sense is helpful, because when my anxiety is up like that, I'm not missing anything. I'm making sure everything's on point. From point A to point Z, everything's on point. And everything is, I know from my side of it, is going to be the best it can be. Let's talk about some problems. If you get the animal there and the package is damaged, you need to document that, and you need to tell the carrier immediately that package was damaged, and you need to tell the person you got it from that package was damaged. Don't mess around. You do it ASAP. Very, very essential information for you there. If you're going to keep anything from this video, keep that you want to be on top of that and make people aware. Communicate. Don't get so excited about having a new animal where you forget to communicate. And if and when, because things do go wrong, I have lost animals like a month after they were shipped to me. Things happen. So that's a risk. But that's a risk for any animal you get, no matter where you get. It doesn't matter with shipping. You get the animal, you're on the ride with them just like any other animal, So I hope that helps you there. And like I said, depending on who you buy it from, the experience is going to be a lot smoother, and you're going to have some bumps in the road with some dealers who do it their way. They're not big on communication, and you're going to notice real quick you're never going to want to buy from them again. Sometimes rare species, I've bought from people where I was just shaking my head being like, why are you doing this? But it was just a morph that I wanted. It was a tarantula that I wanted. It was a gecko that I wanted, and I didn't feel right about it, and something ends up going wrong. And the animal died. It's happened before. The package shows up and things. I've gotten ball pythons before, and it was not what I asked for. It was a completely different animal. So, in short, I will say anxiety is part of the game. You're gonna be feeling this anxiety no matter how many times you do it. So I encourage it. It should not discourage you. Everybody goes through it, So just do it. Do your research. Look at a lot of other videos, see how they do it, and make sure that first and foremost that animal is the number one thing that you're keeping in mind, and it's safety. So I hope that answers your question. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you are a subscriber, you want to see every episode and don't miss, hit that bell notification button, and you won't miss an episode. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and be safe. Be you and be genuine.